Thank you for that. Yeah, it's always good to hear another voice to complement and then to build on, so it's not just coming from one voice. I really appreciate that, to have a witness that bears credence to what we're seeing, through another experience. That's very powerful.
And I do see that, Patricia. Could that number be connected to the 144,000? Yeah.
Absolutely.
The 144,000 is a frequency that is a resonance. I've actually broken down the 144,000 before, and it's, it has to do with the Arba and the Rabbah, with the quadrated ones. So when we speak of quadrated ones, it's not the exact number per se, that there's only 144,000. It's a frequency, a resonance that they vibrate to. And with it being Arba, it's the quadrated that are of light, because it's Aleph, Resh, Bet, Ayin. So Aleph, Resh, the first two letters of light, Resh, Bet, the expanded or the great, and then the Ayin is the knowing, or being able to see the full landscape or the full picture of those who have been through all four quadrants as becoming quadrated. And this has to do with the heart connection, where there's full illumination here. Everything has been made light. In other words, they have transformed and transmuted all of their shadow. So in their turning, they have become full vessels of expanded light that knows and sees the full landscape of all.
Redefine the ego. The virginity of the 144. We're going to talk about that. It's what we share about the Untouchables. It's why we shared Emmanuel. These are the people that are restored back to a measure of intention, and they've connected to Godhead through the walk. And they become the expression of the untouchable. Through intimacy's encounter, they built virginity, one intimate encounter upon another intimate encounter. These are called the untouchable ones.
So connecting to Yada, the Yada with the Ayin, that verse that we just looked at, Yada means to have experiential knowledge of something. It's not something that is from the mind. It is something that is experienced, that becomes part of the essence of being. It's not something you read in a book. It actually fuses itself with you, or you're infused by it, and it cannot be separated from you because it's part of the experience. And that means that is both the light and the dark, right? Because we get infused with the negative experiences too, hence why we have to transmute the shadow. But as soon as we transmute it, we get the wisdom from it, it turns into light. So then therefore the vessel has no shadow, which means it's not subjected to the things of the world that prick it, sting it, prod it, and make it get shifted out of its place of peace.
Again, only an opportunity. Shadow's only an opportunity
to heal,
to fulfill its role.
And that is why the physicians, the Asians,
the
Asi come, because they have done that work themselves. They know intimately how to do it, and they are here to serve as church to bring healing to the rest. Of those who would seek and ask, not us coming and telling. It's only for those who seek. And that is the critical piece, for those who seek. Otherwise, you're just serving self, because you're trying to put and project that which you know on someone else, and they may not be ready for it. That would be considered spiritual violence. We don't want to blow anybody's gaskets. Just let them ask the questions as they see our turning, they see our changing, they see our healing. Let them ask the questions, because then the Spirit has already drawn them. And if the Spirit has already drawn them, then that means that the ground that was once fallow has been tilled enough through the Zayin, so that the sword of your words coming out of your mouth from your heart will be able to plant the seed of new life within them, to germinate, to help shift them from one place to another. And they are going to wrestle. Remember the words, they're going to wrestle, and they're going to groan, and they're going to see how hard it is to shift from one place from another. But those who are in our lives, in our sphere of influence, that are seeing us through our healing and maturation, will know that it's possible, because we have become it and done it. So amazing. It's all purposed. And Kathleen, you shared that beautifully, and through the things that you've experienced too, and your friends, especially from being a chaplain and coming out of the fundamental Christianity kind of aspect, and moving forward in all of this to where you are at now, that people can see where you're at now, and you meet them right where they are at. And that's the beauty of it, is the physicians meet them right where they're at, and they don't judge. connecting to what Rick was saying
Yeah.
about the compassion and loving them where they're at, be able to see them in that place as they already are, even if they don't know it yet.
Yeah, this language of, because it's going to come in the world, it's going to start to echo that. I know there's a lot of negative vibe on Dan as being the serpent line, and it is. Definitely.
But serpent is seraphim, it's the burning ones.
Right. But that level of knowing of what Dan is very innocent, very powerful resonance, as they all are. But the opportunity is given to all to find it. The judge, as what Dean is as a measurement of resolve 1777, is a fulfillment of prophecy that's waiting the infilling of its magisterial role. That Dan is garmented as they will be separated. They will be the gemstone. They're Lashem. That's the missing role. Why is it missing? Because you need to find it. If you find it, and if you qualify as its frequency, because it's done through appraising, that there is no fracture in that stone, right? There is clarity, there is soundness, there's a resoluteness of our own resolve that only desire and longing finds its intention. And so Dan is beautiful. Dan is waiting for those to step into that role. Because I've heard a lot of spin on what Dan potentially could be. Again, I'm only sharing from what I'm seeing, and from what I see is beauty. I see transparency, I see lovely, and I see family, and I see it beckoning us to come into its measure.
Dan will be the physicians.
Dan will be the magistrate. They will be the doctorates of the world again, bringing the sacred nature of the earth back to right standing in the pureness of balance and center.
I got, while we were talking too, I got a city set on a hill, and I want to share this with you guys because I got all excited. Ken has been sharing as of recently that he keeps hearing this phrase about fleeing to the mountains. And he's like, it doesn't mean the natural fleeing to the mountains, like get to higher ground. It's literally meaning get to higher ground within you. The word city in the New Testament is Dalet Yod Nun. Dean. Judge. It's judge and city. And it was interesting because we had a conversation with Jesse here, I think it was last week. And he said a lot of the gurus out there, they will use the term that they're called a city, and not Sidhi, S-I-D-H-I, city. That's another thing. They literally call themselves a city, C-I-T-Y. And he just threw that out there, and I thought about it, and I was like, well, of course, because the Aramaic word is judge. They are the door of the power that they found inside, presenting a new seed of life so that they can pass it on. So the city set upon a hill, Yeshav means to dwell, to be married, the power of turning, having the fire within. Upon is Ein Lamed, which means to see and know the purpose of instruction that raises you up. And then the hill is Torah, but it's not Torah as in Hebrew Torah. It's Tet Vav Resh He. They have wrestled, they connected within their spiritual and their natural, they raised themselves up, and they will be bringing forth revelation. That is a hill or a mountain in Aramaic, and it has the word light in it. Torah, or. So they are the Aleph or the Vav Resh, which is the transmutable sign. They are the cities set on the hill that aren't being covered with a bushel. They have risen themselves up within, so therefore they have the authority of the mountain. It's all symbolic of us raising up as being the seven hills. When you talk about the book of Revelation, the 7 hills are our chakra centers. Mm-hmm. So when we ascend the mountain, we've actually gone through all the chakras. We become a city set on the hill where our light and our illumination is out there for others to see. And it's emanating and it's illuminating through the essence of Huba, or love, or Oreta, the law of one, the completion where everything is as one. It's love. If
we're reminded, then we're found. Because this is what she just said is the lost city of Dan, the golden measure.
Yep.
It's the standard in the temple that is resonating as light's glow. That's at the very lofty place.
So funny, the lost city, and
right.
It's Dean.
It's Dean, and we find it through the winding staircase of the Dreamstone. Again, it's because this language of the missing stone is called the dream stone, waking from the strong dream. So we awaken when we find ourselves, and you come to the realization that this ancient city of many movies, right? We're going to go in the jungle. We're going to find the lost treasure, the lost city, the gold city, it's you. They want it. Everything's distance at it. But when we realize it's you, I can simply say, if someone say, well, are you Dan? Well, are you found? Do you resonate to the potential? Have you adjudicated yourself by entering yourself to know what is and what is not? Have you gone through that winding staircase of the attributes of Mother's generous offering to fulfill the intention to be invalidated as refined? That is finding Dan. This is an adjudicated one. This is progeny. This is lineage's line, the full expression of the left hand. Married the right hand. So a lot of stuff in that realization of what this echo is, and this is the frequency that's coming in right now, and I believe it's already here. It's coming in as a sword, as the plowshare, to either lop off the head or to raise it. One of the two. It's kind of where we are. If you're still in ego, then it will most likely take the head clean off the shoulders. But for those that have already done the due diligence of bowing in reverence to themselves, the head's already been bowed, and there the capstone will be laid. That is the measure of Dan. His foundation and his footing and his cornerstone marry and equate to the plumb line of the crown.